being there live?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It was a great experience to be there, to be in person finally because of all the Zoom calls. I mean, I had done it a couple years prior, but just the Zoom call. But it was really cool to be there, meet a lot of the guys, a lot of the vets that have been around the block a couple times and done stuff that other guys like young guys like myself strive to do. So it was really cool to learn from them and just kind of take some things away and try to implement it into my game as well.
What stuck out the most, being at that camp that you would like to emulate and put into your game?
I mean, those guys were just so open on teaching everything they had in their toolbox, whether it was their signature move or different counters that they work on, and just being able to see them work and to see them talk about the details of everything they do, like within their pass rush. It kind of made me want to maybe lock in a little bit more and see that there's these other little details I can think about as well, and just things that I didn't really think about myself, and they had to kind of just open my eyes to it a little bit.
A.J. Sean didn't make any. I mean, he came right out and said, "This team is depending for you and Greg and Boogie to make more of a consistent impact."
Mm-hmm.
What do you take from that?
I mean, it's just something that we got to believe in ourselves, and we have the confidence in ourselves and know that we can make plays and we can take that next step. That's really what it's about. And we're all looking forward to this camp. When we get pads on, we can really show the strides we've taken. Boogie's lost some weight. Greg's gotten bigger and stronger. I think I've gotten bigger, faster, and stronger. So, I mean, all three of us have been putting in a lot of work, and we're excited to put pads on and show people what we can do.
Leslie used that word too, consistency, saying that that's what's been missing. That you guys, 1 week it'll be there, and then maybe the next week or the next practice it won't. So how do you find that consistency?
Just kind of getting into a routine. I mean, that's been something we've been kind of struggling with, but getting into that daily routine of maybe getting up early, getting our bodies ready for practice, and doing that little extra step, like I was saying earlier, to prepare us for each and every day, so that we can be as consistent as possible.
How much did your first year and changing your body, I don't want to say push your development back, but how much did you have to play catch up even last year, because the first year was so based on such a drastic change,
right,
physically?
I mean, it was a weird change for me, just because I went from being 280 to being so much lighter, so I had to change my style of rush. I had to change my my mindset with my rush, where it couldn't be just so brutish like it was at Iowa, where I was just doing a lot of power rushes, where now I have to implement a little bit more of my speed and other things as well, because tackles are more athletic. They're just better overall in the league. So just taking that next step in my game, knowing what I had to do to change, and things that work better for me now.
Will that help you this year? Body's where it needs to be. See how in games you can use that differently. So do you feel like this really can be your first real springboard with the version of A.J. Epenesa here in the NFL?
Oh yeah, no, it's been a weird 2 years. I mean, definitely having COVID in there influencing the years, but having that confidence of having my body where it needs to be, having the defense down to where I know everything and don't doubt myself within it. Just having that confidence will help me play that much faster and that much smoother, to where you don't have to sit and think about stuff. You can just play and have fun.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall, you settled in at 255 to 260 last year, right? And so this year, is that where are you
this year? I weighed in yesterday at about 263, 262. So trying to stay within that 260 to 65 range is probably be more of my goal this season.
Right. And Boogie, also, like you in a different way last year, he's adjusting to the becoming a pro. He's going to play inside, he's going to play outside, so he gained a little weight, so now he's sort of settling in year two. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely would. Boogie has came and made strides and huge leaps. I mean, just compared from last year, I mean, he wasn't slow by any means last year, but we can tell that he's got that extra twitch, that extra step that you can tell he's been working this off season to improve his body, so he can help our team win and have success. So shout out to Boog for putting all that work in, and we can see that it's working for him.
Looking at the numbers along the defensive line and some of the guys they brought in and everything, it becomes a numbers game a little bit here as you start getting ready for training camp. How much pressure's on you to make sure you have a good camp?
I mean, I would just approach this just like any other camp. I mean, it's always competitive. There's always people that are going to be brought in, and people are always looking to gun for spots. It's the nature of the business. So my mindset is just to attack it like every other camp, give it everything I got, and just show the coaches that I've improved, and show them that I can play and stuff and get like that.
Do you feel a weight of expectations or an external pressure given on where you were drafted and that you are going into your third season?
I wouldn't say any extra expectations other than, I have expectations for myself. I know the expectations from the coaches. And so it's really just kind of, I put it on myself to, try to be as consistent as I can and show up every day and do the best work I can every single day.
Have you changed other things, like if you used to watch certain guys film, now that you're playing slightly differently, like do you watch other players, or have there been other parts of preparation that have changed outside the field stuff?
I mean, being in the training room a little bit more, kind of preparing my body for the day is kind of something that I've done and done this off season to try to, warm myself up, get myself loose, and get ready out of the game instead of kind of getting out there a little cold. And then, just going to that summit a couple weeks ago, I think it's already benefited me with different rush tactics and stuff that I wanted to implement myself. And utilizing them the past couple weeks, practicing them, trying to get them right for whenever camp does come around, and show that I've improved on those different aspects as well.
Are you surprised you can already feel some of the stuff from the summit?
I wouldn't say surprised, just because those guys are so prolific in what they do and in their position that it was just so cool to learn from those guys that it's to implement what they do. It just kind of makes sense in my head.
Is it kind of nice to have Boogie and Greg, kind of like you guys have a little group of young pass rushers that you're kind of going through some of this together? What is that like, the dynamic between the three of you?
Yeah, no, we're like the Three Musketeers. We're like, all three of us, we're best friends. We hang out all the time. And you'll see us at practice. We're bouncing ideas off each other. When we went to Vegas, we all stuck together the whole time. We were trying to figure it out and take notes and learn all these things from all these vets that were there. So having Boogie and Greg is definitely, it's definitely nice to have a couple guys there that aren't veterans, that are kind of in the same position as you.
From when the season ended till you reported for OTAs, what's that period like for you as you reflect on your first 2 years? Because I remember talking to you when you got drafted. You have high expectations coming into the league. Is it was there any frustration this offseason, or was it just working to get better?
I definitely wouldn't say frustration, but working to get better is always my mindset. I had spent this early part of the offseason down in Florida. I wanted to get out of the cold a little bit, so I went and hid down there in Florida. But I trained down there, and it was just my mindset is, I got to get bigger, I got to get faster. And that's all I could think about whenever I got back to Florida and training down there, and tried to get back here at bigger, faster, stronger, and prove to them that I was working during the off season.
Is there anywhere, anybody that helped with that down there?
I lived with my sister. My sister is a very smart individual, and she takes her nutrition very seriously. And so she was a huge help for me when it came to extra calories in my nutrition, when it came to my diet. She was there to kind of supplement me and give me this, like, hey, eat that. No, okay, here, now we need to eat this, and hey, we're about to go do that. And as much as it seems like she was holding my hand, while we're there, but it was nice to have her there and to spend time with her, and basically have her as a nutritionist as well to support that part of my.
Did you have that relationship with her growing up?
Oh yeah, as you guys have heard, me and my siblings and my family were all very tight knit, very close, and it wasn't weird at all, to have my sister in a position like that. It was actually almost reassuring knowing that my sister is the one doing it. I don't have to think about anybody else. It's my family, it's my blood. She's the one who's helping me, and she really cares about it.
Being the athlete that you are, now we do understand that your AAU teammate Jason Tatum is playing in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Do you got any tips or any advisement for your AAU teammate?
Any tips? I don't know. I would definitely like to take tips from him on how to play basketball. But no, it's definitely awesome watching him play. If anyone deserves it, it's definitely Jason.